Okie dokie, boys.
Okie-dokie.
All right, so we're right at the end of the book.
Yep.
What is the main story of the book? Like, what's the main
idea?
Meaning?
idea meaning?
Like,
I feel like it's not actually really about addiction and like how you got over it. I think it started off with addiction,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But it changed into like how he found God and like how finding God like
Shaved him.
shaved him and changed his aspect.
shaped it into a better person. So we got some questions here.
Do you?
Yes. How has religion helped the narrator Seth?
Well, I mean, stop drinking, so. Yep. I mean, you can really take that either way you want. I mean,
It gave him something like he has faith that there's something out there like that'll help his son.
Yeah.
because I know in the beginning he kind of like gave up on faith because like his son was all puckered up.
Not good
So-
condition.
And he was kind of just like, he didn't think God was answering his prayers, so he kind of just slammed them back, And he kind of realized in the middle, like, that it's kind of just sitting there and like avoiding and running from the pain wasn't what he was supposed to do. And I think he brings up the biblical text about how in the Garden of Eden, Adam asked God to take away the pain. And God told him, no, you have to sit with it. And that kind of was like his realization that I can't use drugs or alcohol to get through it and just block it all out. You got to sit with it and you got to learn from it. You got to grow from it.
That brings me to another question. Sorry, I don't really try to
Yeah, you're fine.
But he said in the book like that his son called out to God. Why do you think his son like would call out to God?
Just
I think
tossing,
maybe you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, just tossing out an idea. I don't remember if the book said it specifically, but I think it was more of a secret message that the son was trying to, in sorts, pray for our author, our narrator here, to kind of get him going on the right track rather than being on all these drugs and alcohol, trying to get out of this usage so he can start being a dad again.
I kind of see it as like, the son's not the best of health, and he just wants to get better and yada yada.
Because the author said like that he felt like the son had already found his thing, like his thing, like get over it, to cope with him having the disabilities or being, how he is, and that's how he felt like it was.
Maybe he was kind of thinking like, maybe he was seeing himself at like the problem,
Yeah.
Yeah.
even though it's very clearly not, because, not much you can do about being born disabled, but, maybe he's thinking like, oh, if I wasn't here for I wasn't all messed up, maybe daddy wouldn't be drinking so much. Maybe he's kind of,
And actually, Daddy's
Yeah,
good.
an
Dad
actual
stopped.
dad. Yeah.
yeah.
Stop. Actually, be a good dad. Good dad. Okay, so my next question is: how has Seth's life changed from the beginning to the end of the book?
He put down the bottle and opened the Bible. Like,
His faith
Strictly, that's
in
really
Jesus
it.
Christ has been restored.
he went from one addiction to another. He went from being addicted to drinking to now he's
Being
addicted
very
to
extremely religious.
to God and preaching. And
Yeah. Which is all right. I mean, it's better than drugs.
rather than getting
Alcohol.
drunk every night, and not being there for your kid.
Yeah.
Defense.
All right, and then what does he realize about his son at the end of the book?
That his son's gonna be all right. Like his son's gonna make it.
I mean, he's still gonna live with
He's
his
gonna.
disability.
He's
He's
gonna have
got
problems,
his faith in,
but
he's
he's
got
gonna
his
get
faith
better.
in Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
restored.
As
So
long
it's like,
as he keeps his faith and stuff, he'll be all right.
Yeah.
Has this book influenced your thought of like addiction or alcoholism or anything like that? Like how you view it?
because it's not, you don't get over an addiction, you don't, and you never can. You just replace it, really,
Or you hide that you have.
or you hide it.
Yeah,
But,
There's always that urge to go back to it.
yeah.
It doesn't.
that's
It
what I
doesn't
was.
end.
That's what I was going to say. That there will always be that thought of, hey, I'm in another set of troubling times. When I was doing this, this made me feel better. It's just like what Jamie said last time. That, hey, you're always going to have that thought. When I was on this substance, I wasn't going to feel this pain. So maybe if I went back, I would stop feeling this pain. But also, like Tyler said, you have to go through it in order to surpass it. You can't just blow it over.
Yeah, you can't give it up. You kind of got to power through it, even though you really do want to get back to the stuff. Power through it. Make the right decision.
Pretty much, he talked a lot about how, drugs and alcohol, it's like, it blocks the way for the Holy Spirit to, like, get into you and kind of save your soul. And, like, he said, like, when you're doing drugs or alcohol or, any kind of addiction to kind of cope, like, you're asking for help in times of need, like, from God maybe, but you're never going to be, he says that you're never going to be able to receive it until you
Put something
actually, like, sit down and have to deal with reality, He said that you're never going to be able to get help from the Holy Spirit unless you, like, accept it,
open your
quit
eyes.
drinking, or quit your addiction. But
In the book, he said that he used the book as a coping mechanism. No, he was using this book that he was writing as a coping mechanism for, like, what he was basically the book also turned into his alcohol too, because he was using alcohol and, like, gin, alcohol and stuff like that for a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
And now he turned to the book to write it, like, kind of cope with it too.
Like, kind of getting things off his chest in a way. Not like a diary, but it does kind of feel like
It's a diary, like, it's a diary of, like, what he's been through, basically.
Diary of addiction. That's weird.
Anybody else want to add anything? Cam, you got any questions to add? Chad?
We covered a lot of what I've been thinking,
I
actually.
set on the questions. How did any of the other characters change?
Any of the other characters?
I feel like we don't really get to see that much into it.
We don't really get to
Because it's not really like a storybook. We're like, it's kind of just his own process of.
It's one person's point of view of how everybody's going through it. It's how he went through it.
He's not,
His son thing.
It's more of like a diary type jazz instead of like a narrative.
This book is more of what he's going through, and it's not about his friends, family, relatives. The only family that's really brought up is his son.
And his grandparents.
And his grandparents.
Yeah.
And his grandparents.
Yeah, his grandma, because she was a.
She was a hardcore alcoholic too. Do we have anything else we want to add to that? Because I want to bring up one point before we finish.
What do you think kind of ignited? What do you think kind of sparked his faith again?
The child.
Yeah, his son.
But that's when he lost faith.
Like, his son had faith.
Oh,
So, like, his
it's
son
like seeing it
calling
through
him
his
down.
son and seeing how, like, he's been through so much.
And he's
Kinda
still
like-
fighting.
Yeah.
Like,
He's still fighting.
Yeah,
and
he
he is
was
getting
kind of like.
somewhat better. Like, he said that his
Yeah.
ribs are still showing, but he's energetic now. He's going on doing things. Like, he's
He'll get
being a
over
normal
it.
kid again. Just he's really skinny.
I think at the very back of the book, he said he's still like real thin and sickly, but he's gonna grow up to be like a big old guy and healthy as can be.
I think the exact quote was like he walked into the living room to play and he had no shirt on and you could still see his ribs. Like you see his rib lines. Which, I mean, there's actually a lot of kids, like when I was little, you could see my ribs. You can see my ribs now if I didn't have my shirt on. Like,
Showing.
oh my god. Okay, how do you guys feel the discussion went today?
I think this has probably been our best discussion.
Yeah.
Not only because everybody's here, but because everybody's read.
You actually had another
I'm looking at
point
both
to
of you. So you're fine.
Huh?
I read
add. Do you have another point to add? I'm sorry.
I was going to add another.
Oh,
We
shoot.
kind of covered a lot of what I was going to say.
We'll
Like
ask you
the progression of the narrator through his alcoholism, how his alcohol addiction progressed. We covered all that. The only one that we haven't covered on my list here, unless I haven't been paying attention, is what does the book mean to the rest of us? How did it all hit us? Like, what do we think at the end of it?
I mean, the story itself was kind of inspiring, You know, I'm not the religious type, but I can see that like someone putting faith in a certain thing or a certain subject can help through like tough times.
I think the overall general message kind of is like you got to have faith in something.
Yeah.
Even if it's religion or something else, you just got to have faith in something. Because if you just sit there and wallow in your self pity and just keep slamming back shots, keep popping back pills,
You never know. You never know it'll help. Could be religion, could be kayaking. I mean, chefs. The stress away.
you need faith.
You can have something that you do.
You got to have something to hold on to anchor you down, kind of.
Yeah, you can't have something like you do religiously.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has something that they do religiously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even that. It's just kind of like everybody needs some kind of control
Yeah.
in their life. You know, some kind of routine, something that makes them feel
Everybody
safe
has their
and happy.
addiction.
Yeah. And that's not even like saying, oh, it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's just their routine. You know,
Yeah,
it's what they do.
Yep, that brings up my very last point. It was kind of a double point in one. That how can all of us relate to the set author? Like, do we have any hobbies that are addicting? Have we gone through a trying time like so?
Addicting hobbies.
Yeah, hobbies.
Kayaking.
'Cause
I'm addicted to kayaking.
I guess like it's not a movie addiction, but like derby's addicting. It's like the adrenaline rush.
of course.
Okay.
Not like it's like a drug, but it's not a drug like adrenaline.
Well, it's a natural drug. Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets you excited, gets your blood flowing.
It's a thrill.
Exactly.
Thrill seeking
Four
activity.
wheeling, something like that, like the adrenaline rush of being in the car when he gets hit or something like that. Like that's kind of addicting. Adrenaline.
Yeah, you get the rush.
Yeah, I'm an adrenaline junkie, as my sister call it.
Cameron, what about you?
I'm a junkie.
Honestly,
Shooting up the
one that's more simple. I like getting up when it's late at night, stars are shining. I like to go outside and drive around town. See the lights of the town, see the lights in the sky. Sit on the bridge, look over the water. I like looking at nature at its finest.
You sound like an old man.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm a simple man.
Tyler?
So Tyler,
I like bird watching,
I agree. Birds are nice.
but it does go both ways. So the birds watch you.
Birds aren't real.
What do you like do?
This man's addicted to his soundboard thing.
I don't even
Launch pad, buddy.
This launch
Get it right.
pad, the thing you used to bring to
Music in
school every
Get it
single
right,
day.
you hoser.
You just got called a loser.
Jamie, you're off the screen.
He's off the chain.
Music. Discovering new music. is my-
Okay, we should end the video now. Jamie, say your goodbyes.
Does anybody know how does everybody feel the special? We have to debrief.
I already debriefed my part.
Talked real well. Put some
You're actually here, so you can
good-
actually talk.
yeah, some good couple questions in there. I'm not cardboard this time.
You grew on some
FaceTime
legs and a
you
voice.
Exactly.
Hey, look at that.
This man, you didn't go crazy this time. That's good. I'm gonna
Yeah,
fall
thank
over.
you for that.
Thanks for keeping you cool, youngin.
And that's a wrap.